Part 53. After wearing the book, I became the group favorite. Author, Little Ginger. Chapter 521. Chapter 521 Chapter 521 I will definitely save you. Yurongchinj and Ruchin are ready. The small list has already gone to the island, but it will take a day to go back and forth. His subordinates basically did not dare to look at Mo Zhangxiang in Su Yuan's arms. Well, let them prepare everything in one day, including the woman. Su Yuan's hugged Mo Zhang and tried to get into the car. The subordinate quickly got into the driver's seat and drove the car skillfully. Hospital. Luo Yi, what are you talking about? Don't make jokes like this to me. It's not funny and I don't want to believe it. Also, my sister is protected by someone. Under normal circumstances, she will not be in danger. Zhang Xiaoxiao held the phone. The joints of his hands were protruding, and his hands were trembling slightly. When were you young, Uncle Luo made a joke to you? It's true that Mo Zhangxiang is gone. Something happened at the construction site. Linan called back from the hospital and said that your sister's body was taken away by a man. Luo, the corners of Yi's eyes were moist. Mo Zhangxiang was the only disciple he had. Now that something like this happened, Luo Yi felt very sad. Mo Zhangxiang was being carried. Zhang Xiaoxiao knew that it was Su Yuan's who carried Mo Zhangxiang away without guessing. Why did he carry Mo Zhangxiang away? Don't you know that the most important thing now is to let Mo Zhangxiang rest in peace? Luo Yiwen knows who took my sister away. I will find him. You can help me stabilize Mo's family first and block the news. Zhang Xiaoxiao knew that the situation was urgent and Mo Zhangxiang was dead. The sadness belonging to this body came up, but now is not the time for her to be sad. She has to take up the responsibility that belongs to Baiyu Eguang. Zhang Xiaoxiao wiped the tears from the corner of his eyes with the back of his hand, changed out of his hospital clothes and put on his coat, then went to Fu Jianxiao's ward. Uncle Fifth, my sister is gone, please help me get Mo's. Fu Jianxiao hung up the phone and looked at the little girl with red rabbit-like eyes standing in front of her. In addition to feeling distressed, she said, "Come here." Zhang hour passed, and the suppressed emotions in his heart were no longer tense. "Fifth uncle, we have you Wu. Uncle Wu is still here." Fu Jianxiao comforted her. Before Zhang Xiao could cry for a while, Fu Jianxiao's phone rang at the same time as hers. "Who is it?" Zhang Xiao's voice still had a thick nasal sound. "It's me, Su Yuan's. You should know about Zhang Xiang. She is in my villa now. Do you want to see her for the last time?" Zhang Xiaoxiao listened to Su Yuan's words. This man was going to bury Mo Zhangxiang in private. How could that be done? He couldn't be so selfish. Mo Zhangxiang still had so many friends. "Su Yuan's, I want to see my sister, why don't you send me your address?" Su Yuan's hung up the phone and sent the address to Zhang Xiaoxi. He gently and carefully wiped the blood on the face of Mo Zhangxiang, who was lying in the crystal coffin, with affection in his eyes. "Momo, I can make you come back to life, just like you saved Zhang Xiao in the previous life. I can also use the same method to bring you back to life. Don't blame me. I have said that I don't want anything. I only want you to live, but you can't even make this small request. I'm disappointed that I can't do it, but it doesn't matter, I can save you, we can still grow old together forever, and we can have a bunch of cute babies, and our dreams will come true." The subordinates felt bad when they saw their boss wiping a corpse in such a perverted way. He felt that their boss was crazy. End of this chapter. After wearing the book, I became the group favorite. Author, Little Ginger. Chapter 522. Chapter 522 Chapter 522 The law of the jungle is eaten by the strong. Zhang Xiaoxiao told Fu Jianxiao the address on his phone. "Uncle Wu, I'm going to see my sister. I'm going to get my sister's body back. I'll be back soon. Let others go with you. You are not allowed to go alone. Fu Jianexai will never allow Zhang Xiaoxiao to go anywhere alone. If he encounters danger, it will be too late to regret it, so someone must follow Zhang Xiaoxiao before he can rest assured. Okay, Zhang Xiao accepted that someone was protecting her. She was going to Su Yuan's house now. If Su Yuan's didn't give her Mo Jiangxiang's body, someone would attack her. Go early and come back early, Fu Jianexai told Zhang Xiaoxi. If it hadn't been for the phone call just now, he would have gone with Zhang Xiaoxi. It was already 7 o'clock in the evening for Mr. Mo, and the building where he was supposed to get off work was still brightly lit. Su Jiashan was sitting in the conference room with 40% of the shares in his hand. Anyone who is willing to support me can get out alive today. No, that's all you want. Boom. The wall in the corner of the conference room was opened by a bullet, and the bullet was still stuck inside. Some shareholders who still liked to wear pajamas turned pale with fright, and some were very timid. I support you, can you let me go? Su Jiashan looked at the man who spoke with admiration and asked his subordinates to clear the way to the conference room. You can leave. You are a smart person, but there are always people in this conference room who are not so smart. The man couldn't control other people and walked out on his own. The last thing he regrets now is that he bought a stake in Mo's. Things happen every now and then, and his life is in danger from time to time. If he had known better, he wouldn't have bought a stake. Nothing is a small matter. Life depends on it. As soon as the man walked to the door, he was forced back to the conference room. Su Jiashan, Mr. Su probably don't have the courage to come and steal my territory so openly. Fu Jianexai casually pulled up a seat and sat on it lazily. His deep eyes seemed to be scanning Su Jiashan indifferently, but in fact, they were full of murderous intent, which was frightening. Su Jiashan looked at Fu Jianexai who appeared in the conference room, and he didn't show any particular surprise. Fu Jianexai, this is Mo's family and it seems to have nothing to do with you. Why does it become your territory? And if my old man knows that I dare just like you, then the old man will think that I am more promising than before. After all, the family rules of our Su family have always been the cruel law of the jungle. Really? Fu Jianexai raised the corners of his lips indifferently. Do you want to prove your strength? There is no such interest today, as Mr. Fu can see. I am very busy now. I am busy becoming the new president of Mo's. I admire your courage and your courage to have other thoughts about the Mo family. Didn't I just say that the Mo family is mine? Su Jiashan, are you sure you want to compare with me? Mr. Fu, I hold 40% of Mo's shares. If you hold more shares than me, I will naturally withdraw. We have not reached the point where we are fighting each other. Su Jiashan smiled. Said. Luo Yi quickly put the shares on the table and explained, our wife, Mo Jiangxiang's younger sister, owns 20% of Mo's shares, and although Miss Mo Jiangxiang is dead, but her shares were given to Jiangxi, so now we own 40% of Mo's shares. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After wearing the book, I became the group favorite. Author, Little Ginger. Chapter 523. Chapter 523. It's not that Su Jiashan is uninformed, it's just that he has been shaking and can't believe that Fu Jianexai is really with the woman he raised. Now what Luo Yi said proves that the news is true. He has to believe it even if he doesn't believe it. Fu Jianexai, I really didn't believe you married such a yellow-haired girl. Now I believe it. Although you own 40% of Mo's shares, I own more than 40%. Su Jiashan's men quickly took another document and put it on the table. This is 3% of Mo Mingguo's shares. I have more than you now. Fu Jianexai folded his arms and folded them on his lap. Are you sure you have more than me? Of course, Fujinexiu's behavior is not like me grabbing food from your mouth. It was God's will that allowed me to take over the Mo family. Fujinexiu has no nuns here. Fujinexiu lowered his eyebrows and took a sip of the tea in front of him. The tea is cold. Fifth master, I will re-soak it for you right away. Forget it, I've already entered, and I won't use my second mouth to pull the man who is standing at the door as a doorkeeper over to me, Fujinexiu said lightly. Luoyi immediately pulled the stupid man standing at the door in front of Fujinexiu. Fujinexiu raised his eyebrows and glanced at the man, and said in a very calm tone, "Do you have 5% of the shares?" Yeah, the man nodded and looked at Fujinexiu in confusion. I bought the stock in your hand, and the price is whatever you want. As soon as Fujinexiu finished speaking, the whole office could only hear the sound of breathing. The stock price of Mo's has fallen a lot now, but buying the 5% of the shares is not something that can be done for 100 or 200 million. Little fat man, since Fujinexiu has paid for you to buy the 5% of your shares, the price Fujinexiu offered will be 5 million higher than mine. Su Jiashan looked at Fujinexiu provocatively. This made the fat shareholder beside him uneasy. Why did he get angry on himself in such a short time? What kind of bad luck did he have? Did he dare to offer that price? Does he dare to drive randomly? All the shareholders took a deep breath. The two of them were competing to see who had more money. It was a complete fight between gods. So everyone wanted to put the realization on the little fat shareholder. He scratched his head and was quite irritated. If you don't want to buy my shares, you can buy them with others, and any of you can take them. The little fat shareholder didn't know how much courage he mustered up to dare to say this. He couldn't afford to offend either of the two people in front of him. He might as well be a salted fish and pretend he didn't know anything. A cowardly egg is best. Who else wants to sell their shares? Luoyi glanced at the shareholders. No one dared to say anything, and his eyebrows tightened. No one was selling shares, so how should the fifth master keep Mo's? No one said anything. Luoyi said again, you can exchange Mo's shares for equivalent Fu shares. Luoyi exploded as soon as he said this. No matter what, Mo's company can't compare to Mo Ziyuan's time, but Fu's is different. It is a prosperous company. Don't say too much. How much dividends would be paid out every year for 1% of the shares? This was completely exciting, and some people began to waver. Mr. Fu, do your secretary's words mean anything? Someone still couldn't hold it back and asked Su Jiashan, who was not afraid of offending him. Fujinexiu nodded, so have you considered it? We consider. You should think it over carefully before speaking. Su Jiashan wiped the wooden warehouse in his hand. End of this chapter. After wearing the book, I became the group favorite. Author, Little Ginger. Chapter 524. Chapter 524. The two big guys threatened at the same time, and the shareholders simply didn't dare to move. The atmosphere in the conference room was so oppressive and suffocating that the person who just spoke did not dare to speak when he saw the gun. Half an hour passed and Fujinexiu did not buy any shares. Su Jiashan said, Fujinexiu, I am not stealing your territory. Your shares are not as large as mine, so this Mo family can only be mine. Ha! Fujinexiu sneered. Everyone sitting in the conference room was instantly terrified and restless. The fight between two male lions would probably hurt little shrimps like them. Mr. Su, I have some information in my hand. Please take a look at it. I believe you will change your mind. Luoyi put the information in front of Su Jiashan. Su Jiashan picked up the information with his gun and raised his eyebrows at it. Fujinexiu, do you want to threaten me? Mr. Su, the fifth master is threatening you. You can choose to read the information or not. Of course, I still advise you to read it, otherwise I believe you will regret it. Luoyi explained seriously and looked at Su Jiashan. Hearing what Luoyi said, everyone wished they could become invisible right now. The smell of gunpowder here was not that strong. Su Jiashan looked at Luo Yi with a livid face, biting his back molars, his cheeks bulging, and fired at Luo Yi's feet. A dog, if you can't speak, learn to speak well. I am it's teaching you how to be a good person. Luo Yi was like a stone. Even if Su Jiashan fired a shot at his feet, he would not move at all. Mr. Su, what fifth master taught us is that his family members cannot be bullied by outsiders, so Su, I'm sorry, sir. After Luo Yi finished speaking, he didn't even see the gun in his hand being taken out. Just like Su Jiashan fired the gun just now, the bullet landed at Su Jiashan's feet without any deviation. Su Jiashan's men exploded in an instant. Everyone's guns were aimed at Luo Yi. The people behind Luo Yi were also aimed at those people. A firefight was about to begin. There was a timid person. All the shareholders have fainted from fright. When the two parties are in confrontation, it seems that as long as one of the two bosses speaks, the conference room will become a battlefield. Su Jiashan has never been treated like this. He was just a secretary and dared to shoot him. Who gave him the courage to do this? It would be difficult to vent his anger without killing him. Move. Su Jiashan, if you can bear the consequences, then you can speak. Fu Chenxiao looked at him with cold eyes slightly raised, his expression indifferent. Su Jiashan wasn't afraid of Fu Chenxiao at first, but when he looked at him, whether his eyes were fixed on the information given to him, or he thought twice, he looked through the information on the table. Fortunately, his face suddenly changed. He suddenly stood up and ordered to his men, "Let's go." The men put away their guns and followed Su Jiashan's departure. Su Jiashan's cronies didn't understand what happened to their master, so they asked, "Sir, what's wrong? Do we not want the Mo family?" Su Jiashan's face was as dark as the bottom of a pot. The information just now contained all the transactions he had made. Some transactions were public and some were shady. These are not important. The important thing is that there is one thing in it. If the old man finds out, he will be eliminated directly by the old man. Now he can't get rid of the old man, so he must not be eliminated by the old man. Mo's family will be repaired by Fu Chen first and then return to Ruchen. End of this chapter. After wearing the book, I became the group favorite. Author, Little Ginger. Chapter 525. Chapter 525. Chapter 525. Kill the disobedient dog. I just gave up like this. This Mo family has been planned by us for so long. It would be a pity to give up, the subordinate said unwillingly. Su Jiashan glanced at Mose and gritted his teeth and said, "How could you give up like this? Let's go to Ruchen first. I still have 40% of Mose in my hands. Mose will never go bankrupt in the hands of Fu Chenxiao. 40% of the shares in your hand will definitely not be lost." There is no way for my subordinates to refute Su Jiashan's words. The 40% of the shares will definitely not be lost, and Mo's ownership in Su Jiashan's hands will definitely not be inferior to that in Fu Chenxiao's hands. As soon as Su Jiashan left the meeting room, the depressing atmosphere became much better. Many shareholders relaxed their tense mood and began to please Fu Chenxiao. "Mr. Fu, we support you and let you become the president of Mo Corporation. Mose belongs to Madam, and our Madam is the CEO of Mose. I also hope that you will not do what you did just now. If you do like that just now, then this person will be the enemy of the entire Fu family, so please support our Madam." Luo Yi spoke on behalf of Fu Chenxiao. Shareholders are like Ming Zheng. This is a warning to them. Who knows whether Su Jiashan will come back or not? If he comes back, they can't be blamed for being a faggot. If you have other ideas in your mind, then you don't need to be here. Now Mr. Fu will give you a chance. If you don't want to be a shareholder of Mo's, you can sell your shares to us. We will sell them at a price higher than the market price. If you want to buy the shares at the price, you can sign immediately, and Lawyer Lai will sort out the contract. Luo Yi saw that many people were afraid of death, so he did not embarrass them and gave them a chance to choose. However, this opportunity was only once. If the remaining people had second thoughts, they would never let them go so easily in the future. People. The fastest reaction this time was the fat shareholder who just held 5% of the shares. I am willing to sell the shares, and we will sign the contract now. Luo Yi. Where did this funny shareholder come from? But if he was willing to sell his shares, then his wish would be fulfilled. He made a call to Lainan and soon the contract was sent to him. The fat shareholder didn't bring anyone with him. He signed the words without hesitation, and when passing by Luo Yi heard a small mutter from the shareholder, I will never cooperate with anyone named Mo again. I almost lost my life lost. Luo Yi. Some people saw the fat shareholder signing and hesitated a little. They were considering whether to sign along with him. If he kept the shares in his hands, he would definitely double his waste. However, the risks he had to bear were also very high. It was better to take the money now. But now the loss of money will be huge. People are driven by desire like this. It depends on whether the temptation of this desire is great for you. If money and life really give you a choice, unless it is a matter of life and death, there will be no choice. People only choose money. Shareholders struggled internally several times. 2 shareholders who were over 100 years old signed. They had enough money for their entire lives, and it was better to live in peace and contentment in their old age. An hour later, all the shareholders who were required to sign signed. Fu Chenxiu, the remaining shareholder, glanced at it indifferently. My method of dealing with disloyal dogs is to kill them. Shareholders shuddered and nodded to show their understanding. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After wearing the book, I became the group favorite. Author, Little Ginger. Chapter 526. Chapter 526 Chapter 526 Rest in peace. Zhang Xiao rushed to the address Su Yuan said and entered the villa. The hall of the villa was empty and he could hear the echo of people walking. Su Yuan's, where are you? As soon as Zhang Xiaoxi finished speaking, a figure appeared in front of him. Zhang Xiao, please. Zhang Xiao was startled by the sudden appearance of the man. Although the villa was luxuriously decorated, it had an air of death that made people feel uncomfortable and gloomy. He followed the man with small steps. He followed the man for a long time, and it could be said that he was walking in many twists and turns, but Zhang Xiaoxi could still tell that he had reached the basement. When he reached his destination, the scene in front of Zhang Xiaobai made his brain hurt. The white crystal coffin, the cold air around it was as cold as winter. Su Yuan stood lifelessly next to the crystal coffin. This familiar scene made Zhang Xiaoxi have to hold his head. There was a heavy cold sweat on his forehead. Su Yuan's, you shouldn't have put my sister here. Su Yuan's walked into Zhang Shishi slowly, staring at Zhang Shishi with his long and narrow eyes coldly, his thin lips opening and closing up and down. She shouldn't be here if she's not here. Zhang Xiaoxi looked at Su Yuan's who looked like a dead person, and felt conflicted in his heart. He frowned tightly. You can't be resurrected after death. My sister should go to where she should go, instead of lying here and being buried. Oh, rest in peace. Su Yuan seemed to have heard a joke. If he died in peace, he would never see her again. He was lucky to be reborn, allowing him to meet her again. This time she did not push her away. She was also lucky, but this time he still failed to protect her, which was extremely unfortunate. The face was ferocious, and the thin lips pursed into a sharp blade. You want to murder her? Zhang Xiao felt his head hurt listening to his incomprehensible words. Mo Zhangxiang was already dead, why did she want to murder her? Dead people should be buried in their graves. My sister is dead. It's useless for you to stay here. Suyuans, I know you like me and my sister, but people cannot be resurrected after death. You have to try to accept it. I know you are feeling uncomfortable now. You can repay your sister. Why put your sister here? You should also consider your sister. People can't be resurrected after death. Who told you that people can't be resurrected? Who told you how you thought you survived? Su Yuan said fiercely. Zhang Xiao was confused. He even knew that she had worn it. Otherwise, he would have asked what she was doing and what it meant. Su Yuan's, what do you mean? Please make it clear. I have a way to save Momo, but I need your help. Are you willing to save our Momo? Su Yuan's is not asking Zhang Xiao. In fact, he has already decided that regardless of Zhang Xiaoxiao's willingness, he must cooperate with him to save Mo Zhang. Hunan. How are you going to save him? Zhang Xiaoxiao's eyebrows were almost knitted together. She really couldn't understand why he wanted to bring a dead person back to life. Don't tell her that it was just like what was shown on TV. It was some kind of goddess resurrecting a corpse. Then it was still like that. It's a bit creepy. Goddess. When Su Yuan's uttered these two words, the corners of Zhang Xiaoxi's mouth twitched in place. What kind of goddess is she? This is simply speechless. Why would a good person believe this? Su Yuan's, why do you believe it if there is no scientific proof? Zhang Xiaoxi tried to call this dazed man back. End of this chapter. After wearing the book, I became the group favorite. Author, Little Ginger. Chapter 527. Chapter 527. Chapter 527. Goddess. There is no need for argument, because you are the best argument. Are you willing to save Momo? Su Yuan's asked Zhang Shi again. Zhang Xiaoxiao couldn't understand why Su Yuan's always emphasized that she was the best argument, but she was still willing to save Mo Zhangxiang if she could really save Mo Zhangxiang, because she was Bai Yueguang's sister. I am willing to save. Then you wait here, waiting for the goddess to come. Okay. Zhang Xiao was invited out of the basement by the person just now, taken to another warm room, given food and drink, and then left. Zhang Xiao was sitting on the sofa. The clothes under her down jacket were soaked with sweat. She suppressed the severe headache just now. This time she felt that if she hadn't controlled it just now, Bai Yueguang would probably return to this body. Inside her body, unlike usual, she had feelings this time. Garbage system, are you here? Garbage system, host I am. I'm asking you if what I guessed on my phone just now is correct, whether Bai Yueguang is coming back. Zhang Xiaoxiao was eager to confirm what he had guessed. Garbage system, host, don't worry, I will never let her come back this time, don't worry. So she did want to come back just now, right? It wasn't me who suppressed her, but you suppressed her, right? Garbage system, the host didn't give me an answer, and I don't dare to answer you either, but it was me who suppressed her just now and shouted that she didn't come back. The host can't blame me for that. I'm not blaming you. I'm asking you if there is really any secret technique that can make the dead come back to life. Zhang Xiaoxiao was now asking about Mo Zhangxiang. If there is really such a thing, wouldn't it be to increase her chances of coming back to life? Garbage system, there are hosts, but it's best not to do it. The cost of resurrecting a person is to use another person to exchange for the chance of her life. To put it harshly, it means one life for another. Not everyone can do the secret technique, it must be a close relative, and it must be done willingly. If it is not done willingly, then the chance of that person being resurrected is very small, but it does not mean that there is no chance. Zhang Xiao felt a cold feeling all over his body from his feet to the top of his head. No wonder Su Yuan's was so persistent in asking her if she was willing to save Mo Zhangxiang. It turned out that he wanted her to save Mo Zhangxiang willingly. If she didn't agree just now, then he will not let her go, because even if the chance is small, it is better than no chance. He wants to save Mo Zhangxiang. Garbage system, host, if you want to save yourself, I can help you. Call Fu Jianxiao's number. When the system said this, Zhang Xiao subconsciously touched his phone. It was missing. It was not in his bag or pocket. So there was only one possibility, that is, the person who sent him in just took her phone away. Garbage system, host, do you need me to make a call for you? No need. Zhang Xiaoxi refused the garbage system's help. She didn't want Fu Jianxiao to come. After all, Mo Zhangxiang is Bai Yueguang's sister and should save her. If Fu Jianxiao comes, she will definitely not let her save Mo Zhangxiang. Su Yuan cares about Mo Zhangxiang's life, and Fu Jianxiao cares about her life. This is a knot that can never be solved. Garbage system, host, if you make a call, your life will be in danger. I can't watch you abandon your life and safety like this. End of this chapter. After wearing the book, I became the group favorite. Author, Little Ginger. Chapter 528. Chapter 528. Chapter 528. Weird. Zhang Xiaoxi cut off the conversation with the system on her own. She hadn't figured out how to talk to Fu Jianxiao yet. She wanted to make a call, but the lie hadn't been made up yet. Hiding it from Fu Jianxiao would be unfair to Fu Jianxiao. Fu Jianxiao would never agree if he didn't hide it. She risked her own life to save Mo Zhangxiang, but there was a thought in her heart telling her that she must save Mo Zhangxiang, because she owed it to her. Jiang's head hurt terribly when he was young, and he didn't have much energy to think, so he lay down on the bed to take a rest. Basement. The subordinate reported the situation to Su Yuan's. Sir, Fu Jianxiao has taken care of the Mo family. It seems that Fu Jianxiao has some clues about Su Jiashan. He has returned to Ruchin now, but that woman Zhou Yuling is still in Rongcheng. Tell Yi Changji the news about Zhou Yuling, use that woman to lure Jin runs out, capture him, wait until Momo wakes up, and kill him. He guarded everyone, but another Jin runs appeared. A person who never appeared at all in his previous life. Sir, it will take some time to get the call back, but Zhang Shi's phone has been ringing for a while, and it's all from Fu Jianxiao. What do you think we should do? Let her pick it up. Sir, if she says it, how can we save madam? We don't have enough manpower now, and Yi Changji and the others are in Chengdu, so we can't fight head-on. His subordinates have been paying attention to the status of Fu Jianxiao and Zhang Xiaoxiao. Childhood love is like Su Yuan's love for Mo Zhangxiang. They are completely equal. The lives of these two men, who are like the pride of heaven, are completely in the hands of these two women. No one can lose the other. Losing one of them will not be the same. One of them is afraid that he will not survive. She won't tell. Su Yuan's was not afraid of Fu Jianxiao, but he was also sure that Zhang Xiaoxiao would not tell Fu Jianxiao, because Zhang Xiaoxiao owed his family Momo's life and should repay it. Su Yuan said so, so his subordinates had no choice but to do this. When they got out of the basement, they didn't forget to call their good brother to ask about the situation. Brother, have you boarded the plane? Well, the goddess is next to me. We will arrive in 7 hours. Brother, you have to come back soon, I have a bad feeling. Good. Goddess, can you tell me whether my brother is in any danger? The man on the plane hung up the phone and nervously asked the goddess next to him. No need to worry, everything will go smoothly. The old voice of the goddess seemed to carry the Buddhist heart-clearing mantra, which made the people next to her feel less impetuous. Fifth Master, I haven't come out for a long time. I want to go in. I can't beat the number of bodyguards inside and outside the villa. Bodyguard and Zhang Xiaoxiao didn't come out after being in for so long, so he called Fu Jianxiao. Fu Jianxiao was sitting in the car, his long eyebrows on his temples furrowed. Wait there, I'll be here right away. Sir, bring more people with you. The atmosphere in the villa is very strange, and some strange people have come in and out. What kind of strange person, Fujinexiu had a bad feeling in his heart, his handsome face was cold and gloomy. There are a lot of Taoist priests coming in and out, and they have also painted strange symbols around the villa. I don't recognize them either. Even if the dead people in our countryside, Fifth Master, have to do rituals, it is not as weird as this. It doesn't look like they are doing rituals, it's a bit like summoning spirits. The subordinate described the current scene, which made him panic and made his hair stand on end. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. After wearing the book, I became the group favorite. Author, Little Ginger. Chapter 529. Chapter 529. Hearing his description, Fujinexiu's face changed drastically. The veins in the hand holding the phone were prominent. Destroy all the spells outside the villa and wait for me to come. Hearing Fujinexiu's impatient voice, his subordinates knew something was wrong. Fifth Master, I understand. Hang up the phone. Fujinexiu immediately made another call. The phone rang for a while, but it was not the voice he wanted to hear. Instead, it was a voice anxiously asking for help. Fuwei, the president has been kicked out. Fujinexiu lowered his eyebrows, and the aura around him became breathless. Block the news. I know your president is there, so be sure not to spread the news. Secretary Hua could only grit his teeth and nod. Master Fu, as soon as you bring the president, the vice president is still eyeing this position eagerly. Well, you will definitely see President Yu Plus tomorrow. Fujinexiu answered Secretary Hua. Luo Yi's phone rang while driving, and a soft female voice rang in the depressing atmosphere of the car. Luo Yi. Xiao Xiao, have you seen your sister? Luo Yi asked deliberately. Zhang Xiao Xiao over there was sitting on the bed, looking out the dark window, biting his lip lightly, and said a little guilty, Luo Yi, can you tell Uncle Wu that I will stay here tonight, my sister's house? After Zhang Xiao finished speaking, Luo Yi felt that the air around him was a few degrees colder. When I'm young, I'm afraid I can't tell you this. You know the Fifth Master's temper and why you stayed there. Didn't a driver follow you? Luo Yi said, sweating like rain, trying his best to ignore the low pressure next to him. Zhang Xiaoxiao pinched the quilt in his hand nervously. Tonight there is a Taoist priest here to perform rituals for my sister. I want to stay here and keep vigil. I'm afraid that my fifth uncle won't agree, so Luo Yi, please help me tell this to my fifth uncle. Good. Small, don't be embarrassed. Come back, Zhang Xiaoxi. Come back immediately. Fujinexiu's cold voice directly blocked the conversation between Zhang Xiaoxiao and Luo Yi. Zhang Xiaoxiao was already feeling guilty, but now Fujinexiu's voice suddenly sounded, and she almost couldn't even hold her cell phone steady. If Fujinexiu knew that she had made a decision to save Mo Zhangxiang without permission, it would cost her own life. She couldn't even think about it. When he dared to speak, he stuttered, Fifth uncle, fifth uncle. Come back immediately, Zhang Xiaoxiao, you forgot that you promised me you would come back tonight. Fujinexiu's words left no room for negotiation. Uncle Wu, I want. Come back, I'm already on my way to pick you up. Fifth uncle, please don't come. Zhang Xiaoxiao, don't make me angry. Fujinexiu hung up the phone directly, his face gloomy. Zhang Xiaoxiao handed the phone to the subordinate and said helplessly, you'd better go and tell Su Yuans that my fifth uncle is coming. The subordinate also had a sad look on his face. He knew he couldn't answer the call, but even if he didn't answer the call, the person would still come back. Tonight was destined to be an extraordinary night. Fujinexiu's car drove to the villa, but before he entered the villa, Su Yuans leaned against the door of the villa, smoking a cigarette, and walked into Fujinexiu step by step, straight to the point. If you can't take her away, I won't let you take her. Let her go. If you can't save Mo Zhangxiang, I will take him away when he is a child. Fu Jianxiu and Su Yuans looked at each other. End of this chapter. After wearing the book, I became the group favorite. Author, Little Ginger. Chapter 530. Chapter 530. Chapter 530. You are back too. Su Yuan's eyes changed, and the corner of his mouth curled up coldly. I didn't expect you to come back. Fu Jianxiu stared at Su Yuan's with sinister eyes and said in a cold voice, if you want to take revenge, you can come and take revenge on me. That's what I owe you and Mo Zhangxiang, but you can't do it when you're young. Why not? Fu Jianxiu, don't forget, it was you deceived Momo, you kidnapped her with family affection, you made her give up her life to save Zhang Xiaoxiao. Now I want to use your method to save Momo. This is what you owe us, Su Yuan said lightly, but the redness at the end of his eyes could not hide his emotion. If you want your life, you can exchange it with my life, but she didn't know anything when she was a child. Fu Jianxiu's tone was very calm, unlike usual. Fu Jianxiu sneered, with a ferocious expression on his face, I will exchange it with your life. Fu Jianxiu, if I can really exchange it with your life, I will use your life to save Momo even if I try every possible means. I know better than anyone how to save Momo. Fu Jianxiu lowered his sword eyebrows, and there was anger and guilt in his cold eyes. In his previous life, he did use family affection to trick Mo Zhangxiang into saving Zhang Xiaoxiao, but he also received a punishment from heaven. Su Yuans and Ben did not see the end, but only after Mo Zhangxiang died. At the same time, he followed Mo Zhangxiang. Fu Jianxiu, if you are really guilty, then let me save Momo. It is fair that one life is worth one life. Xiao, I must take him away. I will use my life to pay for the lives I owe you. Fu Jianxiu didn't want to talk to him, and wanted to go past him to find Zhang Xiao. Fu Jianxiu, are you the only one who knows how to use family ties to kidnap someone? I can do it too. Go and try to see if you can call someone away. If you can't call him away, Zhang Xiaoxiao won't go with you, because Momo is her sister. Sister, save me. Sister, you should. Su Yuan's tone was as calm as water, as if he was stating something very ordinary. Fu Jianxiu's cold eyes suddenly ignited with murderous intent. If this is the case, then I will kill you, even if I owe you 2 lives. Kill me, Fu Jianxiu, do you really think I am the Su Yuans from the previous life? Fu Jianxiu and we are about the same strength. Are you sure who will kill whom in the end? Then give it a try, Fu Jianxiu said. Before Fu Jianxiu finished speaking, a gun was pointed at Su Yuans. Su Yuans didn't even raise his face. Fu Jianxiu, you and my beloved woman are both inside. My woman is dead, but your woman is still alive. If you don't let me save my woman, then I won't let you either. The woman lives 1 more second. This villa is full of bombs. As long as I move my finger, bang, this place will be reduced to ashes immediately. Fu Jianxiu paused, turned around and punched Su Yuans in the face. You're so crazy. Don't you want to save Mo Zhangxiang? If you blow up the villa, then you won't even be able to see Hui arrive. That's better than watching you live happily. Fu Jianxiu, Momo and I did something wrong to deserve such a big punishment. We weren't together in the last life, and it's like this again in this life. Why should we be punished like this? Such unfair treatment. Since God won't let us be together, then I will take my life. Since you can be reborn, then Momo and I might have a chance to be reborn a second time and a third time. As long as we can die with her a few times, it doesn't matter. Su Yuans lived a somewhat sickly life. End of this chapter.